Welcome to Eye on America. I'm Michelle Miller. Today we celebrate women in power. In New York City, makeup mogul Bobbi Brown talks about launching her new brand with the help of social media. And in Los Angeles, Hollywood legend Julie Newmar shows us the serenity of her breathtaking garden. But first, we get an up-close look at one of the most high-stakes jobs in the country. Adriana Diaz sat down for an exclusive interview with the head of the Secret Service, Kim Cheetle, to talk about her priorities and the challenges that come with being in charge.
At the Secret Service Training Center, drivers show us how they work.
So this would be if you're running away from something in traffic?
Well, this could be to get out of the area. Maybe the motorcade's under attack.
Whoa!
To protect the president.
So we're going to get out of here in a hurry.
Okay, we're at a roadblock right now.
There we got back
With
up.
maneuvers like J-turns.
About face and keep it moving.
Now! By the warning!
Nearby, officers trained to take down a would-be White House fence jumper.
You're on the ground!
But in this empty field, there's no real fence.
So this bike rack is how you do your White House fence training?
Yeah, this bike rack is a representation of what we have as the North Fence Line downtown.
And the White House?
The White House is the trees you see back there.
Sergeant Darian Null says his officers have to use their imagination, running through trees as if they were rooms in the White House.
How much of a disadvantage is that from a training perspective?
It could be a huge disadvantage.
Secret Service Director Kim Cheetle agrees.
One of your predecessors said training without a White House replica is like training for a basketball game without hoops.
Absolutely. I think you wouldn't ask your Super Bowl champs to go out and train in a parking lot.
That's why she wants Congress to fund a replica White House for training.
Your team has gone to an unusual place as part of the research on how to build a mock White House. I'm thinking about a Hollywood-related place.
They visited Tyler Perry's production studios in Atlanta, which has a replica White House.
He was gracious enough to allow us to take a tour of it.
Did it feel like the White House?
It did.
She would know. The 28-year veteran was on the team that evacuated Vice President Dick Cheney on 9/11, and she served on then Vice President Biden's protective detail. He named her director in mid-2022. Amid a swirl of controversy over the agency deleting nearly all of its text messages from January 6th. The agency says that was due to a data migration.
System migrations happen, but I think for a lot of Americans, it just doesn't pass the smell test, given the timing and the volume of messages deleted.
Well, it's unfortunate that that would be the assumption that people would make. Our integrity is everything, and there was nothing nefarious attached to that.
Their integrity has been put to the test, not only by the mishap at the National Security Advisor's home, but by misconduct over the years, including off-duty agents hiring sex workers in Colombia before an Obama trip and a drunken altercation in South Korea last year.
We've implemented a number of things previous to me becoming the director, and then continuing as I've been the director. I've made sure that the workforce knows that misconduct won't be tolerated. We ensure that there's a full investigation that's taken place whenever there is an allegation. If we need to put a person on admin leave or revoke their security clearance, we'll do that.
Another challenge, recruitment and retention, something all law enforcement is struggling with. But the Secret Service's departure rate was 48%, due in part to the high demands of the job. To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
That workforce will be pivotal for the 2024 campaign season, which for the first time includes a former president who already has lifetime protection. Agents were there when Donald Trump was arraigned in New York.
We were able to work out the details ahead of time of how that particular day was going to go, but we will always ensure the safety of all of our protectees that we have.
The service has a zero-fail mission, a mission officers are training to uphold, pretending this field is the most famous address in America.
From the head of the Secret Service to an elected local official, we meet another woman in power with an inspiring journey to the top. Nancy Chin introduces us to Oakland, California's mayor, who overcame the odds and went from homelessness to holding office.
One of the first things you notice about Chantal is her enthusiasm.
And the charter of the city of Oakland.
A swearing-in ceremony she could have never have imagined.
Congratulations.
What were you thinking about? Hmong people flew in from all over the country to join me on Inauguration Day. It was a journey that I took with the whole Hmong community.
Her family's journey began when her parents fled Laos in 1975.
My parents are refugees, and all I knew was that we were poor and it was hard.
This graduation photo was taken after Tao escaped an abusive relationship, lived in a car with her young son, and stood in line for free food.
You always hear about starving students, but what do people actually do about it?
What she did was run for city council.
You can't do this work without feeling empathy, and you shouldn't do this work if you don't have that empathy.
Today, as mayor, the 37-year-old is leading a large and troubled city. Her mission, to make it better for the next generation. That includes her son, Ben. Now 16, he performed at her inauguration.
What message do you hope that people take away from your story?
Mainly that hope is everything.
I mean, look at me, I'm standing up here.
Coming up, beauty legend Bobbi Brown's secrets to success. This is Eye on America. Makeup expert Bobbi Brown shook up the beauty industry over 30 years ago with her so-called no makeup look. Now she's doing it all over again with a new business co-founded with her husband. Meg Oliver speaks to the entrepreneur about her latest venture, Jones Road.
So I looked at my head of product and I said, oh my God, this is a friggin' miracle.
This is how legendary Bobbi Brown relaunched her career, social media.
I always love learning new makeup techniques.
Warm it up in your fingers, gently pat it.
So that's all you need.
Hi, what's your name?
In January 2022, nearly 15 months after the makeup mogul started her new company, Jones Road,
Will you tell my husband, I don't want diamonds, I want this.
her son Cody, head of marketing, pushed her to make a TikTok.
And he said, all right, Mom, go. And he pressed the button.
Hey guys, it's Bobbi here. I'm new to TikTok. Tell me what you want to see from me.
It and two others were game changers, attracting more than 300 million views and quadrupling sales for the startup.
We got bombarded, and I was so surprised because most of the women said, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I'm 50, what do I do? I'm 60, what do I do? I'm 40. It was shocking.
Bobbi has been teaching 4 generations of women what to do when it comes to her infamous no makeup look.
When did you know you wanted to get into makeup?
When I was a kid deciding what college to go to, my mother asked me what I would do if I could do anything in the world, and I said I'd love to do makeup.
After graduating with a degree in theatrical makeup, she started in the world of high fashion. In 1987, she fell in love with her soulmate, real estate developer Stephen Plofker.
I remember I came home from dinner and I was up all night staring at the ceiling, and I called my dad. I said, I just met the man I'm going to marry. Yeah, I just knew it.
You just knew?
I just knew it.
How were you feeling when you first met Bobbi?
A little overwhelmed. I mean, something definitely out of the normal was happening.
They were married within 6 months. A few years later, in 1991, the couple launched the brand Bobbi Brown, a palette of nude lipsticks that quickly shot her name to fame. Within 4 years, Estee Lauder bought the company for a reported $75 million, but Bobbi retained creative control.
You signed a 25-year non-compete clause. Any regrets about that?
I have no regrets because there's no point in having regrets, because what are you going to do with it? And honestly, the company wouldn't have grown as big. I mean, I could say that I'm a founder of a billion-dollar brand, which it was when I left.
How was it waiting out your non-compete?
It was hard. I went and got a charm with the date that my non-compete was up. You know, to someone that doesn't have hobbies and isn't used to quiet time or reading in a chair, it was tough. So I did a lot of things. My makeup philosophy is that I like it to be quick, I like it to be natural.
During that time, she shot a masterclass, became a certified health coach, and renovated a mansion with Steven into a boutique hotel, The George, in Montclair, New Jersey.
It was a labor of love, but man, that was intense.
And every room is different.
Every room was different. The place was a total redo. And what I didn't say, he's not just the brains of the operation, he is the most creative, able to see things where other people can't, and he figures out how to get it done.
Babe, this is supposed to be about you, not about me.
They can edit it, but no, but it's like, but it's the truth.
Then, on October 26, 2020, the couple launched Jones Road against the odds.
It was a week before the presidential election, in the middle of the pandemic, in the middle of social unrest, and all of my big, powerful friends in PR said, don't do it. I engaged my neighbor to do the PR. We got great press, and it was off to the races.
Off to the races with instant hits like Miracle Balm, a multitasking skin enhancer that sold out in weeks.
How did you come up with Miracle Balm?
It was a mistake.
Really?
It was, yeah. I had asked a lab to do something, and it came, and it was not what I wanted. I'm like, that's not what I wanted. But then I dipped my finger in it, and like I always do, I went like this and put it on my face, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this.
From Miracle Balm and What the Foundation to face pencils, Jones Road is a collection of clean beauty products designed to be simple and easy to master.
These are called Just the Sec.
Okay.
Because that's how long it takes.
Okay, perfect.
To put it on.
And when it comes to her own self-care, it's no surprise. She also keeps it simple.
How do you take care of yourself?
I don't inject anything in myself, and I'm learning to, find peace with the lines in my face. I just take good care of myself, and I try to be positive and upbeat.
Parents to 3 sons, the couple's family has recently expanded.
Now you have 2 daughter-in-laws and a granddaughter.
Oh my God. She's amazing. She's like delicious.
Bobbi posted a love letter to them.
I happen to love the girls, and I'm trying really hard not to piss them off.
You did your one daughter-in-law's makeup for her wedding.
I did both of their makeup
Both
for the
of them.
wedding. Probably the scariest makeup jobs I've ever done.
That's amazing.
Besides Michelle Obama, that was scary too, but yeah.
High pressure.
That was high pressure, but the daughter-in-laws, I wanted to please them. This is good for an overall tint, a highlight, a blush. And
It's that kindness that resonates on social media, making her still seem like the girl next door, eager to help you look and feel better.
At 65, what would you tell Bobbi, who was in her 30s?
Oh my God, I would say you're not even gonna believe what's gonna happen, but I would say just get ready and be open, and you just don't know what's coming your way.
Working from home offers benefits and challenges for parents. That's why 2 mothers in Virginia are providing space for moms balancing work and childcare. Jan Crawford checks out one inviting and inventive library.
For keeping your concentration, it's hard to beat the library.
Hello.
Especially when you have to keep your eye on your little one.
At home, it's impossible. Here, I can just get things done.
Here at the Fairfield Area Public Library near Richmond, Virginia, there's a special space for children and their parents, like kindergarten teacher Takeo Woodson.
With the Crib Center, it's much, much easier. And they're close enough where I can just reach over, but I can still do what I need to do on the computer.
It's called the Work and Play Station, designed and created by 2 working moms.
I would see moms and parents and caregivers struggling, and I thought there's got to be a better way to do this.
When the library opened 4 years ago, photos quickly went viral.
All of the public libraries that I'm working on right now, every librarian is asking to have one.
This started with you thinking there has to be a better way.
It touches me, it really does. It visibly shows people that we cared.
And as working moms, they knew there was a better way.
Ahead, a look inside a showbiz icon's private paradise. That story is next. We close our show with a beautiful reminder to stop and smell the roses. Hollywood legend Julie Newmar, best known as Catwoman in the 1960s Batman TV series, gave me a tour of her dazzling home garden and explained the power of her lifelong passion project. There's a little house on Los Angeles' West Side where there's no mistaking it's spring. The thousands of flowers blooming or the passion of a woman who's the master of it all.
It's paradise.
This paradise was created by Julie Newmar, who's delighted to share it with us.
Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome.
Your title.
I have a title?
You do.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, yes.
What is the title?
Gardener extraordinaire.
Oh.
Her other titles may be far better known. Julie Newmar was a dancer, a model, and an actress, forever known as the temptress Catwoman in the 1960s TV series Batman.
Perhaps we might get to know each other a little better.
Through 6 decades in the spotlight, Newmar held gardens tight because of what is deeply rooted in her childhood.
That had to do with my father. I think that was the safest and happiest place for me with my father, was in a garden. And he built a playhouse, fountains.
So she had fountains built here to stand alongside more plants than even she can count.
This is an unusual bird of paradise because it doesn't have those flapping wings. And on your right is the Alice in Wonderland gate.
No matter where she was in the world, she says, she made sure there were always remnants of that safe and happy place she knew as a child.
Well, when I lived in New York, I had a penthouse with 2 balconies around the side, and I won't tell you everything that I grew in there. But there were trees and there were vines. It was beautiful.
So you've never lived without?
Never lived without flowers.
The rigors of working in the entertainment business for a lot of people, there's ego, there's long stretches of intensity. There's a lot going on there.
A lot going on.
What did being a gardener present for you through that?
If there was a problem that I could not solve, I would just come out in the garden, and it just kind of entangles your nerves. It's a wonderful place to be.
Much of her paradise was designed for her own child, John, now 42 with Down syndrome and nearly deaf.
Oh, he loves it. I just feel his bodily excitement. Nature is so perfect in itself that for me, this is healing on earth.
For John and for herself, there are plenty of childlike places to discover. I found your secret garden.
That was for my son right here, see?
And all the sculptures are made to order.
It's me, really, about 10 years old, but it's an ongoing thing. That's what's wonderful. It's like life. You keep on enriching your own life, and the flowers tell you where they want to be.
How long did it take to create this?
I don't want to say how long I've been here. It's 3 decades at least, going on 4.
At every turn, there's something new.
What have you found now? Donkey's tail?
You have more garden back here.
Do go down there. I'll meet you on the other side.
An avalanche of roses is on the other side. She has more than 80 different varieties. Each bush has its own spirited name.
Those are the famous Jacqueline Dupre. She was the great cellist. Jump for Joy and Pumpkin Patch.
And of course, there's this one.
I'll show you the Julie Newmar roses.
Ever the performer. Julie Newmar's latest production are her online garden videos.
Being a dancer and or a choreographer, we see things in movement. So you get a kind of shape of things, and then when you have a small space, it's very good to create curves rather than straight lines, because then your eye goes out of the garden.
Did dancing inspire the gardener?
It has to. It's a piece of choreography.
Her long life has clearly left her unwaveringly optimistic.
Aren't we lucky to have this time on Earth? Mars, maybe, but the Earth, yes. That's so exciting.
because she's remained devoted to the safe and happy place her father introduced her to so long ago. For more stories like these and live coverage of breaking news 24/7, stream us right here on CBS News. I'm Michelle Miller. Thank you for watching Eye on America.